Let's do this. All rise!
Oh my! Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
A new spark of determination.
Apparently.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
We get, you know, because of the Japanese legend. You get it?
Ha! Ha!
Chesto! One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or...
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
I mean, as a Yakuza, do we really want to ask that one question?
Killer tortured
No, he didn't.
No, that's wrong.
There was no torture involved.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Really, fuckhead?
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Oh, you're calling me stupid, you fucking simp?
Stupid!
Alright. We're not playing this game, fucker.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
What? Wrong one. Sorry.
Crap!
Sorry, my bad.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information. Then, after they killed him...
There.
Allow me to cut through those words!
Again, you can't.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
Yep.
What did you say?
I said what I said. Did I fucking stutter?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
Akane, don't give up like that.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Bro, you do much worse when it comes to Sonia. Fuck off. Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
I mean, just insert Bryan into the picture. He would do all of that and have no fucking regrets. I'm just saying.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I don't know. Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect.
You know, now that Gundam's not here, you cannot just go in on his woman. I'm pretty sure she still loves Gundam, you piece of shit.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
Damn right it is. Okay, Sonia. All right. The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first. All right, let's figure out what we can get.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Correct. No contradiction there.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Yes.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
Possibly.
They probably just threw the lighter.
Maybe?
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Possibly.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
Interesting.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Possibly.
Or perhaps opening the door.
I agree with that.
Consent.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
Sonia, no, honey. Close, but not close.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line.
Like a domino effect.
Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Correct.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
Like a domino.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, The first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
Ta-da! There is our work in progress area. So yeah.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
Indeed.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
They did one other thing to hide the domino effect. And that would be... yes. It would be this.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right?
Remember that weird classic music that was supposed to be playing last stream, but it wasn't loud enough to be played last stream, so we had to assume that there was really loud music being played?
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker, because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared through the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. I'm opening it slowly. Everything's fine. The door was shut. How's the door shut? Something's blocking the door. We're gonna fucking bust it open, because why the fuck not? We've already seen this flashback before.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse. I see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is... the killer could not have left if there was no space to leave.
I see! If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But... if that's true... this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
the person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. I wonder who that could possibly be. You!
This is my answer!
Ah,
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
I mean, yeah.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
As a rope bunny, and as someone who has studied the art of shibari, I can tell you that tying yourself up is not impossible at all. Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. I wonder what we were overlooking.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
What front tail? What are you?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Yes. That is 100% a dirty joke.
To actually tie up your own...
There it is.
No,
Sorry,
that's
it was the other
wrong.
one. It was the other one. It was one or the other. There were only two that I had to contradict. It was one or the other, and it was with the burnt rope.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms.
It was only one.
The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
Dun dun dun.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
Possibly.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito him is a trap is his sleeve.
I see! Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree?
His hand had no burn marks, so his hand and that arm were nowhere near any fire.
A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
that should be the case.
Sorry, Chiaki. Sorry.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Okay.
God damn it.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Lamo!
Sonia, there's prostitution.
Sonia, that's also illegal! In some places. Not all, but some.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
You're Japanese. I thought it'd be a yen.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
I mean, okay, if it works, it works. Fuck it. If it pays the bills, fuck it.
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
We didn't even pay you. Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back. What the hell?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
We didn't even pay you. A way to stab yourself with your right hand using only your right hand, which is very, very possible. Okay, there's definitely an answer for this. There is an answer for this.
Yeah.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
He is the lucky student. He would be able to land it.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
You just kind of like. whip
Maybe
it in
he
the air
propped
and
the
then-
knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
If Nagito could use his right hand to stab himself with the palm, how'd he do it?
Maybe he propped the knife.
I agree with that.
Remember that gigantic hole in that plushie?
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
So there you go.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
If only.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Correct.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
Correct.
If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
Pretty metal.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Sonia, with what you've been saying recently thus far, I kind of worry about the insinuations that people could use that out of context. Soda, don't fucking start.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
You fucking simp.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
That doesn't mean repeat it, Sonia!
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Soda.
Someone smack him and get the gun.
Right?
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Shut up, simp!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
No, just improbable. But not impossible.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone.
You know what else I just now realized?
What?
Monami's not hanging from a rope.
Yeah, Monami's not hanging from a rope.
If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Do you now?
Monami's sassing me!
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Yeah, bitch.
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
You a bitch.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone.
We've been believing in everyone, and look what happened. People
No
keep
matter
killing
how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
you, fool.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I mean...
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
And even now.
All right, let's do this.
Alright, let's see what everyone's got to say.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth?
That would be
Or
ballsy.
maybe he used his front tail.
What? Again?
I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Akane.
What are you saying?
Sonya, don't even start!
She's talking
The
about
blushing Miss
gifs.
Sonia is freaking awesome!
Oh, well. Yes, there's a way he could have used it.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
Actually, he could have used his left hand.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Dun dun dun.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
I mean, yeah, but also...
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
In essence.
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What's Nagito's left hand doing while the blood splattered? He was gripping something.
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
No, he wasn't grabbing his penis! Oh my god!
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Thank you, Sonya.
Which could also be an innuendo.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
God fucking damn it, Bryan!
Which means, in this case, if he was grabbing the spear, he fucked himself.
God damn it! Ah!
He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think?
We literally saw what could have been the defining of how he did it. Come on, Chiaki. Chiaki, we literally saw it together.
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Duh.
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Correct. Which section of the spear was he holding on to? He was holding on to the cord.
I see!
No, it's a shaft.
God damn it!
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Nagito was yanking it to hope.
God damn it!
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
It's possible. Since
I
he's
mean-
the ultimate lucky student.
It's not as complicated as that, but it's pretty damn close.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
Firmly grasp it.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. God damn it, we're going... Fuck it. But from there...
Ah, so he's a left-hander.
But from there... How would he... Why do you care? You don't even like him. God damn it! But from there... How would he stab himself in the stomach with a spear? It's very obvious you and fucking Chiaki saw it together!
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
If only Monokuma allowed that.
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
Well, that's easy enough.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that... That's it. Could it be? Of course it was! Go with it! Go with your gut! The state of the spear, and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those two together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was, and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Not what you think. We're gonna go do a deep dive!
Oh, my God.
We're gonna dive! Let's go! Let's go! Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Right above him. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else is above Nagito? A ceiling girder. Question 3. What oddly connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear's cord. No, no! There we go. And that just answers that question.
It's all coming together.
Guess he was killed by physics, in a way.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
Yes.
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
No, Sonia.
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
And that's how you get it, ladies and gentlemen.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling.
Ta-da!
So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Yes. And no.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear?
Yes. In a way.
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far?
Apparently.
That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer.
Or he was just trying to still weed out the traitor to the very end.
Scully, was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez. And I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. Mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense.
Indeed.
It's probably just my imagination.
No, Akane, it's not. Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is? Or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh?
Nope.
That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer?
Is this one of those options like the last game where you could potentially end it here and get a bad ending?
I honestly do not remember.
Okay.
Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Thank you, Hajime. Bitch!
Cock block, bitch.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
I wonder what that could be.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death.
Just spit it out.
Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death. And it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? And here I thought we were finally finished.
Oh, right, yeah. There's still one thing. I completely forgot about that.
There's something unrelated to Nagito's case, a piece of evidence even he couldn't mess with. The cause of death, wasn't it?
I see!
There it is.
Yeah, it never confirmed his cause of death.
Is it about the Monokuma File?
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, guys, I blanked out. I'm like, it was physical things. Like, no, we mentioned that his cause of death was odd.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma File?
The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in the stomach, there are multiple stab wounds in each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a nail and a knife impaled through his right hand. No reference of what actually killed him. The suspicious part of the Monokuma File that Chiaki is worried about is...
No, please.
Yep. Yep.
God damn it!
So many of them! Got it! Oh my god. That was so many.
That was just a stupid difficulty spike.
Yeah, that was like, what the fuck?
In this particular case's Monokuma File, there's no specific cause of death.
Not only is there a spear stabbed in the stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, the laceration on his left arm and knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
But was it, though?
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
That's not...
A giant fucking spear in his chest, I think that would be important.
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
Fuck you.
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But pleading the fifth doesn't apply in an island.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma File was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
And we get that. And there's no doubt that it was a suicide. But was the death caused by the suicide or something else?
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh?
It's not about believing in him, it's understanding what the fuck this bastard would do to us.
Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. And the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking.
And
Recess! Suspended!
No.
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought about the voting time was gonna start, but... Well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was gonna happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Mondami? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's get along like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand in silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Monami and I are the bestest of best friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much? Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teeny tiny 1 millimeter bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know. We aren't even friends in the first place. Then as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother! It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Well, there may be some demands for that. Well, I fell for it! I totally took the man bait! Resume!
I'm Monami. By now, there's nothing more for me to say.
No, darling.
Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now. Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too. I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation. That's basically it.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma File?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities. Huh.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Are we finished already?
I feel like... it's possible that we overlooked something.